Hello dear friends, myself Nitin, and today we will be covering another topic of geography, that is physiographic divisions of India. So this unit means this topic is also a part of Indian geography, means unit 1 physical settings paper 2. So note down this physiographic divisions of India. As we used to do it, means we will be covering this topic also in a very structured manner. So I would request you to have a copy and pen with you and note down the important keywords and key points from this topic. I would be explaining it to you, as well as I will be writing it here for you. So under physiographic divisions of India, so what do you mean by this term physiographic? The first question is this, that what do you mean by the term physiographic? See, physiographic here means related to something related to physical features. Now a land has several kind of physical features. You might have witnessed different physical features over a land. For example, a land can have a mountain, a land can have a hill, a land can have an elevated area that is known as plateau. A land can have an plain area. A land can also have a desert area. So these are all different kind of physical features present on land. So what happens that the physiography of India has been divided mainly into six physiographic divisions, or there are 6 physiographic divisions of India. You can note down these. The first one is northern, N-O-R-T-H-E-R-N, northern mountains. Second physiographic division is plains. So write Great Plains. Third physiographic division is peninsular. Plateau. Now fourth physiographic division is Indian desert. Fifth physiographic division is coastal plains. And the sixth and the last one is islands. So note down these 6 physiographic divisions: northern mountains, Great Plains, peninsular plateau, Indian desert, coastal plains, and island region. In this video, we will be studying about these 6 physiographic divisions in detail. Actually, these physiographic divisions have been further subdivided into their subdivisions. So you need to note down important facts and figures for whatever I will be writing it down here, and I will be also explaining it to you here. So means objective question as well as subjective questions both are being framed from this topic, and this topic is very important topic from the Indian geography. So I will start with this our first physiographic division, that is northern mountains. So we will be starting with our first physiographic division, that is northern mountains. See, this northern mountains has been further subdivided into 3 different physiographic divisions. First one is the Trans-Himalayan mountains, second one is the Himalayan mountains, and the third one is the eastern or the Purvanchal hills. So we will be starting with this Trans-Himalayan mountains. So note down the first heading under this northern mountain, divided into 3, and then write the first heading, that is Trans-Himalayan mountain. Now what is the meaning of this Trans-Himalayan mountain? See, the word trans means beyond. So Trans-Himalayans means beyond Himalayas. So these mountain ranges, Trans-Himalayan mountains, these were formed much before Himalayas, and they are in the northern side of Himalayas. these Trans Himalayan mountain range, though they have very good means height, but still they are not uh, visible easily from the southern part of Himalayas. So these Trans Himalayan mountain ranges is again further consist of different mountain ranges. So mainly we have to study about 4 mountain ranges which are part of these Trans Himalayan mountain ranges. First one is the Karakoram range. See there means location on this map of India. This one is the Karakoram range. Next one is the Ladakh range, south of Karakoram. Next we have this Jaskar range, again south of Ladakh range, and then we have Kailash range here in the Tibet region. So sometimes in the examination you are given these 4 options and then you are asked to arrange these mountain ranges from north to south. So do remember, at the top we have Karakoram, then we have Ladakh, then we have Jaskar, and then we have Kailash mountain ranges. So we will study few important facts about all these 4 mountain ranges under this Trans Himalayan mountain range. So you can note down these important facts. These are directly asked in your objective questions or multiple choice questions in different exams. So first one is the Karakoram range located here. What are the important facts about Karakoram range? See, the highest mountain peak which in India is Mount K2. This Mount K2 is also known as Godwin Austen. This is the another name for Mount K2, Godwin Austen, and this is the highest peak in India. But do remember that this is not a part of Himalayas. If a question is asked that which is the highest peak of Himalayas in India, then the answer will be Kanchenjunga, which is located in Sikkim, because Kanchenjunga is a part of Himalayas. If it is asked that which is the highest peak, but Himalayas are not mentioned, then the highest peak in India is Mount K2, and that is a part of Trans Himalayas. Also, this Mount K2 is located somewhere here, and this region currently is a part of POK. Though we consider it this whole region to be India's region, but this region currently where this Mount K2 is present, this is in the POK region, Pakistan occupied Kashmir region. So remember this fact. First important fact, the highest peak of Karakoram range is Mount K2. It is also known as Godwin Austen. Next important fact about this Karakoram range is that Siachen Glacier is present in this Karakoram range. So remember that Siachen Glacier is also not a part of Himalayas or the Great Himalayas. It is a part of Trans Himalayas, and it is present in the which part of Trans Himalayas? Then it is present in Karakoram range of Himalayas. Siachen Glacier is located somewhere here. Do remember the location of Siachen Glacier? Also, the Siachen Glacier is known as the highest battlefield of world. Why it is known as highest battlefield? Because it is located at a quite height from the sea level. And why battlefield? See, this region, the temperature here in this region generally lies almost minus 40 degree to minus 50 degrees, sometimes more than that, even it reaches to minus 70 degrees. So, but the Indian Army used to reside here in such kind of adverse conditions. It is only because in 1984 what happened, that Pakistan tried to attack this region and it tried to occupy this region, but Indian Army then with the help of an operation got this place vacated, and then since then Indian Army used to reside at this place to prevent this place from any kind of encroachment from either Pakistan or China. So that is why this is known as the highest battlefield in the world. Next important fact about Karakoram Pass is that this Karakoram range is that we have a Karakoram Pass here. Pass refers to a gap or it is known as a gap between two mountain ranges to cross from one place to another place. So Karakoram Pass is here. It helps India to connect with China. This Karakoram Pass is here in this region. This is the region of Karakoram Pass. Do remember this. Next we have two important rivers originating from this Siachen glacier. Those rivers are Nubra River and Shok River. Do remember this, note down this, the important rivers originating from Siachen glacier of Karakoram mountain ranges. These are Nubra and Shok rivers. Nubra is nothing but a tributary of the Shok river. So this was important facts about Karakoram mountain ranges. Next we have our second mountain range under this Trans-Himalayan mountain. This is Ladakh mountain ranges. Now again the highest peak of Ladakh mountain range is Rakaposhi. So do you remember this important fact? Means directly you are asked in Mazi following, on the right hand side you might be given highest peaks, and on the left hand side you would be given mountain ranges, and then you would be asked to arrange or mark the match the following. So remember this, Rakkaposhi will be the highest mountain peak of Ladakh mountain range. Then we have Bunzi Gorge here in this Ladakh mountain range. What is gorge? Gorge is nothing but a narrow and deep valley which is used by river to turn from its original location, original path to other path. So this Bunji Gorge is actually the turning point for Indus River. Indus River, when it moves through this gorge, earlier it was moving to northwest. This Indus River turns here. Why Indus River? It used to move like this. It used to turn here in the south, in the southern direction, from this Bunzi Gorge. So remember this. You may be asked a question that Indus River used to turn southwest from which location, then you need to name this as Bunzi Gorge. Next important fact about this Ladakh mountain range is that we have a Dras sector or Dras region here, which is also known as gateway to Ladakh. This Dras region is located in the Kargil district, and actually this region is known as the second coldest inhabited place in the world, or the coldest inhabited place in the India region. This Dras is nothing but a town in the Kargil district. You might have heard this name several times, especially when you might have seen the LOC movie. So this Dras is nothing but Dras region in the Kargil district, and this is the this is the coldest place in India. Also we have Ladakh Plateau, which is the highest plateau in India, which is located here in the Ladakh, these mountain ranges, near this Ladakh mountain ranges. So these are a few important points about Ladakh mountain ranges. Now we will move to third important mountain range of the Trans-Himalayas, that is Jaskar mountain range. So remember this Nanga Parvat is the highest peak of this Jaskar mountain range. The mountain range actually refers to large number of mountains moving like this. So among these mountains, few mountains will be very high, few mountains will be low. So the highest peak, we are writing it here. So this Nanga Parvat is the highest mountain peak of Jaskar mountain range. Then we have Baralacha Pass here in the Jaskar mountain ranges, and this Baralacha Pass used to connect the Lahore and Spiti district. You can write down Lahore and Spiti district of Himachal Pradesh with Leh region of Ladakh Union Territory. Also, this Jaskar mountain range is spread into mainly three regions. One is Ladakh Union Territory, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand region. So this was the third mountain range in the Trans-Himalayan mountain. And fourth one, we have the Kailash mountain range or the Kailash ranges. So this mountain range is located in the Tibet region. It is located in the Tibet region. The highest peak of this Kailash mountain range is Mount Kailash. And the two famous places or the two famous lakes which you might have heard several times, they are also located near this Kailash range, that is Mansarovar Lake and Rakshastal Lake. So you might have heard about this Mansarovar Yatra. So this Mansarovar Yatra is is nothing but about this pilgrimage of this Mount Kailash and this Mansarovar Lake, and these are currently located in the Tibet region. So means China have opened these two regions for the pilgrimage purpose, but otherwise it is in this Tibet region, and every year many Indians used to go for this Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, so they mainly used to move in this region. See, this Mount Kailash or this Kailash range this is highly important in terms of cultural perspective. Why? Because as far as the Hindus are concerned, they consider this Mount Kailash to be abode of Lord Shiva. Similarly, for Buddhists as well as Jain, for Jains, it is this Mount Kailash is related with their first Tirthankar, that is Rishabdev. And similarly, this Mount Kailash is related with Buddhism. So, since this Mount Kailash is a religious place, also this Mansarovar Lake is they are considered a religious place for all the three, Jain, Buddhism as well as Hindus. So, this China hasn't blocked this region, and it has opened this region, Mount Kailash and this Mansarovar Lake, for pilgrimage purpose. And though taking visas, many Indians every year used to visit this place through the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra. So I hope you people have noted it down. Also, you have tried to mark this on this rough sketch of India. Also note two other points, that we have this Khardungla and Umlingla pass. La here actually refers to pass. In the Tibetan language, pass is known as La, or pass is referred as La. So we have two pass, Khardungla and Umlingla. These two are located in this Ladakh mountain ranges. Though currently in India, the highest motorable mountain pass is Umlingla pass. Earlier it was Khardungla. Means earlier it was Khardungla. Recently Umlingla pass has become the highest motorable pass in India. So motorable pass here means that is connected through transport, or motor vehicles can go through in that region, or motor vehicles can go to that pass region. So this is another important fact, that this Umlingla pass located in this Ladakh mountain range is the highest motorable pass in India. Earlier it was Khardungla pass. So I hope you people have noted down all the important facts. These facts are generally asked in objective type questions. So we'll be now moving to second portion under northern mountain ranges, that is Himalayan mountains. So now we will move to this second mountain range under this physiographic division of northern mountains, that is this Himalayan mountains. So before we move to Himalayan mountains, I think I have missed few facts about Trans Himalayas. You can also note down here in the side of this Trans Himalayas. These Trans Himalayas are almost of 1000 kilometers in length, and the width of this Trans Himalayas is almost 200 kilometers. Though these are not that much important fact, but for comparison with this Trans Himalayas with other mountain ranges, you need to know this, that these Trans Himalayan mountain ranges are almost 1000 kilometers of in length, and their width is almost of 200 kilometers, and the average height of this Trans Himalayan mountain range is of 6000 meters. You know that the highest mountain range of this Trans Himalayan mountain was Mount K2, which is under Karakoram mountain range, but the average height of this Trans Himalayan mountain is 6000 meters. Also, one important fact which is generally asked in examination from this Trans Himalayan mountain is that river Indus, it used to flow between which two mountain ranges. So we have studied about 4 mountain ranges in under Trans Himalayas: Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar and Kailash. So remember this, that river Indus used to flow here between Ladakh and Jaskar mountain range. So you can write here under this Trans Himalayan mountain ranges, you can write here river Indus used to flow between Ladakh and Jaskar mountain range. This is one important fact which is generally asked in objective type questions. You should remember this. Now we will move to our second mountain range under this northern mountain, that is Himalayan mountains. Now starting with that about Himalayan mountains, that how these mountains were formed. So do remember that actually there was know about this tectonic plates. So earlier there was a Eurasian plate and here was an Indo-Australian plate, and here is Eurasian plate. You must be knowing what are tectonic plates. These are nothing but the Earth's crust. That Earth's crust is made up of several plates. So this Indo-Australian plate and this European plate is also among those plates. So this Indo-Australian plate, while it was moving towards northwest, towards Eurasian plate, it found here a sea known as Tethys Sea. Tethys Sea. Now since this was a sea, so it had large amount of boulders, rocks, sediments, sands, etc. So what happened? This Indo-Australian plate, when this pushed these these sediments, and when these sediments got pushed by due to this pushing, what happened? Due to compressional force, what happened? These sediments slowly got uplifted, and they got uplifted to such an extent that they led to formation of Himalayas as fold mountains. So do you remember this in short? We will study about this formation in some other topic, but in short you need to remember that Indo-Australian plate pushed the sediments and the boulders present in the Tethys Sea against this Eurasian plate. So all these sediments slowly got uplifted to form Himalayas as a fold mountains. Now these Himalayas, these are generally present here like this into 3 parts or 3 different ranges, or it has been divided into 3 different. The first or the higher one is known as Greater Himalayas, or it is also known as Himadri. Note down that this classification means Himalayas into Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Outer Himalayas. These are based on the height. Means the greater the height, means it is located in the northmost, and the smaller ones are located in the southernmost. So Great Himalayas or Himadri, these are those mountain ranges which have an average height of almost 6,000 meters or 6,100 meters in actual. So those mountain range have been classified under Great Himalayas mountain range. Next one is Lesser Himalayas. It is also known as Himachal Himalayas. And the final or the last one is known as Outer Himalayas or Shivaliks. These are means west to east, and the northern means these run west to east. The northernmost is Greater Himalayas, then south of Great Himalayas is Lesser Himalayas or Himachal Himalayas, and then south of that is Outer Himalayas or Shivalik Himalayas. I have drawn here 3 these. You can see that this one would be Greater Himalayas, this one would be then Lesser Himalayas, and this one would be Shivaliks. So these run west to east through in this manner, and they have been classified under these 3 based on the average height or height of these mountain ranges. In general, if I talk about these Himalayan mountain ranges, these have a Himalayas mountain ranges have a length of almost 2400 kilometers. You can note down this. It has a length of 2400 kilometers. And if I talk about width, the width varies. While in the west, it is almost of 400 kilometers. 400 kilometers in the west. Means here in this portion, the width of Himalayas, width means north-south extension of the Himalayas is almost 400 kilometers. The length almost remains same for all these three, that is almost 2400 kilometers. From here, from this to this, from west to east, length is almost 400 kilometers. Width in the west portion is 400 kilometers, while the same width is almost 200 kilometers in the east portion. Means here the width reduces to 200 kilometers. Why the width is said to reduce, get reduced here is 200 kilometers. Why the width of Himalayas is 200 kilometers here while 400 kilometers here? It is said that when this Indo-Australian plate struck this Eurasian plate, this portion means the portion in the east, it had more compressional force on this sediments in this Tethys Sea against this Eurasian plate in comparison to this western portion of this Indo-Australian plate. So what happened that this portion, this eastern portion got more compressed, and due to getting more compressed, the width here got reduced, while the mountains present here, they got uplifted to more height compared to mountains present here. So that is why we see that the mountain in the eastern Himalayas, they have more height in comparison to mountains in the western Himalayas. Why mountains in the eastern Himalayas have more height than western Himalayas? Because the compressional force of Indo-Australian plate against the Eurasian plate was more for this Tethys over these sediments of Tethys Sea in the east in comparison to that in the west. So that is why the width got reduced here. The width, it got reduced here in comparison to width here, while the mountains got uplifted to greater height in the east in comparison to west. I hope you people are understanding. The greater the depression, the higher will be the upliftment of the sediments. So this is why this was in short about this Himalayan mountain ranges. Also the now we will see the important facts about all these three ranges, means greater Himalayas, lesser Himalayas and outer Himalayas, and you can note down this. See, this video lecture is going to be little longer, so I would request you to note down each and every fact, whatever I am writing in here. I am only writing important facts, and you need not require to watch this lecture again and again. If you continue writing the facts as I explain it to you here. So our first heading subheading under Himalayas is Great Himalayas. So see, these Great Himalayas, these have been classified as their average height is more than 6,000 meters, and this portion will be of Great Himalayas. This portion will be of Great Himalayas. Now it extends from Indus Gorge to Namcha Barwa in the east. Indus Gorge in the west. Here it is the Indus Gorge. Indus Gorge, I have already told you, it is the place, the valley, means a deep narrow valley from where river Indus used to move southwards. Earlier the river Indus, while it was moving like this here into the northwest, but from this gorge it turns southwards and it moves here in Pakistan. So Himalayas used to extend from, these Great Himalayas used to extend from Indus Gorge in the west to Namcha Barwa in the east. Namcha Barwa is a point here in Arunachal Pradesh. What happened that from these Himalayas used to extend till Namcha Barwa in the east. Or also this Namcha Barwa is known for Brahmaputra river, that river turning. Earlier Brahmaputra used to flow in the east, but from this Namcha Barwa it used to make again a gorge and then used to flow southwards. So remember this, the extent of Great Himalayas from Indus to Namcha Barwa. Next we have the highest mountain range present in this Great Himalayas. See, most of the highest mountain ranges are present here only in the Great Himalayas because these have been classified based on their height. But the highest among all those are Mount Everest. Mount Everest is the highest mountain range not only present in this Himalayas but also in this world. Okay, its height is almost 8848 meters and it is present here in Nepal. Do you remember the location of this Mount Everest? It is present in Nepal with its height of almost 8848 meters. Next important fact about Great Himalayas is that means it is the source for most of the antecedent rivers. Now what are antecedent rivers? See, antecedent rivers are those rivers means which were flowing before the upliftment of the land, or in other words which do not change their path or their original flow, means original source or original path irrespective of the upliftment of the land. For example, if this is a river, it is already flowing and this is the land over which this river used to flow. If this land got uplifted for any or the other reason, this river will continue to flow in this path. This will what happen? This river will cut this uplifted land and then also this will continue to follow its own path. This will not change its path to like this or like this due to upliftment of this land. So these rivers are known as antecedent rivers. Antecedent rivers. So most of the rivers moving from these Great Himalayas are antecedent rivers, means that can be Gangotri, Alaknanda, Kosi, Ghagra and so many other rivers. Means these Great Himalayas become a source for antecedent rivers. Now if I talk about, see, Mount Everest is the highest mountain range of this Great Himalaya, but it is not present in India, it is present in Nepal. So if I talk about the highest mountain range of Himalayas present in India, that is Kanchenjunga and that is located in Sikkim. Sikkim, that is here in this portion, Sikkim, and that is that is part of Great Himalayas, but that is the highest mountain range of Himalayas present in India. So remember this this another important fact about Great Himalayas. The last important fact about this Great Himalayas which I have mentioned here is that snow line is more in the west in comparison to east. Now what is snow line? Snow line is the minimum height above which the area is permanently covered with snow. So snow line is more in the west. It means that when you say for example you will find permanent cover of snow in the West Himalayas, say for about 4000 meters and above. Then in comparison to this in the east, you may be finding snow cover, for example, say at 3000 meters or 3500 meters. So that is why it is written the snow line is more in the west in comparison to east. Means you will find snow at higher altitude in the west in comparison to east. When you will move towards east, you will be finding it snow at lower altitudes in comparison to that in the western portion. So this was another important fact about Great Himalayas. Next is Lesser Himalayas. See, you need to know about all the mountain ranges present here, because there are so many mountain ranges. It will be very difficult for you to remember the name of all the mountain ranges as well as their height. So you need to remember only in terms of height, you need to remember only about few, that is about Great Himalayas, about the Kanchenjunga. Also other thing which you can do is that yes, you can search the name of other Himalayas and their nicknames, because they have been given several nicknames. The means mountain ranges present in this part, so you can know. Nowadays such kind of questions are not asked in generally in any exam, but for knowledge purpose you can know that particularly this mountain range is known by which nickname, so that you can do it. Otherwise the important facts are I have already noted down the important facts, you can note it from here. Next is Lesser Himalayas. Now lesser Himalayas are those which have an average height from 3,700 meters to 4,500 meters, and these are south of Great Himalayas. These are lesser Himalayas, these are south of Great Himalayas. They also run from here from west to east. And now what are these lesser Himalayas are famous for? Actually, these lesser Himalayas are the place where actually we go for different hill stations. So this is the place Great Himalayas, they have their height is too much for us to move in that region, and generally people don't used to move in this region. But these lesser Himalayas, these the height of these Himalayas are 3,700 to 4,500 meters. And what happened that most of the hill stations are present in this portion only, in the lesser Himalayas or Himachal Himalayas. So we see that names of this Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet, all these hill stations where we used to go for tourism or adventure activities, all these are present in this lesser Himalayas. Now there are few famous mountain ranges present in this lesser Himalaya region. These are Pir Panjal range, Dauladhar range, Nag Tibba, Mahabharat range, and so on. So question is framed in this manner that in which of the following mountain ranges you will find the below ranges such as Pir Panjal, Dauladhar, Nag Tibba, and Mahabharat. The four options will be in the Trans Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Middle Himalayas, or Himachal Himalayas, or the Shivaliks. So you must be knowing that these are present in the lesser Himalayas. They are neither the part of Trans Himalayas, nor Great Himalayas, nor Outer Himalayas. These mountain ranges, Pir Panjal, Dauladhar, Nag Tibba, Mahabharat range. Also, if you are asked that the hill stations of Shimla, Mussoorie, Ranikhet, they are part of which mountain ranges, then you should know that these are part of Himachal or lesser Himalayas mountain ranges. Next we have Outer Himalayas. Outer Himalayas, they are again classified based on their height. The average height is generally 900 to 1500 meters. Now these Himalayas, actually what happened that these Himalayas means this lesser Himalaya is separated from this outer Himalayas based on valleys, and that valleys is known as Doon in the west and Dwar in the east. So that is why when you see the names like Dehradun, so that is Dehradun is nothing but Dehradun is a type of valley which used to separate this means lesser Himalayas or middle Himalayas from the outer Himalayas. So when you will be going above Dehradun, then you will be finding this all these all mountain ranges and these all hill stations. Similarly, in the east where we see the name like Haridwar. So that Dwar is nothing. That name Dwar has been termed nothing, but it is also a valley which is separating this outer Himalayas from this lesser Himalayas, but that is in the eastern portion. So these outer Himalayas, which are also known as Shivaliks, these don't have much height. See, their height, you are seeing that their average height is almost 900 to 1500 meters. So there is nothing much to know about this. Yes, few mountain passes are present, but again mountain passes are also mainly present in this region. This lesser Himalayas means those mountain passes which are accessible or which are motorable or which are generally seen in news because those mountain passes are still active. Mountain passes present in this region, Great Himalayas, they are generally abundant, or to say that they were active once during the ancient times, but generally very less number of mountain passes you will find in these Great Himalayas which are active. Why? Because the condition that climatic conditions here are very adverse. So people hardly used to reach or move in this region, neither for tourism nor for any other purposes, but other than the military and all. So note down these important facts about the three ranges of Himalayas: Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, and Outer Himalayas. You can know one more thing. See what happened that this region, this Himalayan region, here we have different fault lines. First one is the main central thrust. The main central thrust is, this is a geological fault, MCT, main central thrust. It is a geological fault which used to separate the Great Himalayas from the Lesser Himalayas, or it is situated between the Great Himalayas and Lesser Himalayas. What do you mean by geological fault? Geological fault it is nothing but a type of fracture between the blocks or between the plates. These are plates, tectonic plates, or the earth crust divided into several plates. So if there occurs a fracture or the fault over these plates, then what happened? This used to activate the relative movement between these plates. In other way, I can say that these fracture used to trigger the relative movement between these blocks or these plates. So what happened that due to this area or this zone becomes prone to earthquake, or it becomes highly prone to earthquake. That is why if you will see the division of the zones based on their proximity or their proximity to earthquakes. So it has been divided into mainly 5 zones. There's zone 2, 4 zones: zone 2, zone 3, zone 4 and zone 5. So this region has been put into zone 4 region. Why? Because of these geological faults present in this region. So this region becomes prone to earthquake. So similarly, about what happens that between the Lesser Himalayas and Outer Himalayas, there is present main boundary thrust, MBT. As here it is main central thrust, here it is main boundary thrust present between the Lesser Himalayas and Outer Himalayas. So this is another fact which you can note down from here. Also, I hope you people have marked down in this rough sketch the important points which I have written down here. If you are done with this, we will be moving to our third portion of this northern mountain, that is eastern or the Purvanchal hills. We will see few important facts about this also here, and you people can note it down. Dear friends, we will be moving to our next heading under this northern mountain, that is eastern or Purvanchal hills. But before we start this, you can note down the countries where this Himalayan mountain range used to run through. There are mainly 5 countries. There are mainly 5 countries: India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and China. So you may be asked in an objective type question that name the countries through which Himalayas used to run, and then there would be 4 options based, and you need to select the correct one. So after this we will come to eastern or Purvanchal hills. See, these eastern and Purvanchal hills are also known as sub-Himalayas. Now we have already seen that we have a mountain range known as Trans-Himalayas, which is just above the Himalayas. The word trans means beyond or above. Similarly, the word sub means below or moving southwards of the main Himalayas. So eastern or Purvanchal hills are nothing but a mountain range which is moving south of the Himalayan mountain range or below the Himalayan mountain range. It has also been named as Purvanchal. Purvanchal means in the east, Purv, and similarly our other name for it is eastern hills. So I have drawn a rough sketch of northeast India, and we will be seeing different mountain ranges or different hills present here, and you also need to draw it and mark these hills or these mountain ranges present there, because in the objective type questions you will be given 4 hills or 4 and then you will be asked to arrange them either from east to west or from west to east or from north to south or sometimes you would be asked that this particularly this range or this hill is in which state of northeast. So you need to know this. So in the Purvanchal hills, we will be seeing here, we will start with the northern state here, with means northeast state, Arunachal Pradesh. So we see here, 4 main hills are here, Dafla, Miri, Mishmi and Abhor. You need to note down these 4 main hills of the Arunachal Pradesh. DM, MA. You can learn like this. DM, MA. See, R used to come before S, so Miri will be before Mishmi. Otherwise, it will start with D and the first letter A will be at the last. So remember these 4 hills of Arunachal Pradesh: DM, MA, Dafla, Miri, Mishmi and Abhor. For example, you will be given these 4 hills and then you may be asked to arrange these from west to east. Then you should remember that Dafla will be in the extreme west, then Miri, then Mishmi, then Abhor. So after you have noted down these 4, there is one another means mountain range or hill that is known as Patkai Bum. This Patkai Bum is not only in Arunachal Pradesh but also in parts of Nagaland. This Patkai Bum used to make the India's border with Myanmar. Means Myanmar is located here and this Patkai Bum used to separate India, in Northeast India, from Myanmar. So note down this Patkai Bum is in Arunachal Pradesh, also in parts of Nagaland. This is another important hill of, you may be asked that Patkai Bum is in which 2 states of India, then you need to know that it is Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. Or you may be directly asked that Patkai Bum is in northern India, southern India, western India or eastern India, then you can mark it as eastern India. Or Patkai Bum used to separate India from which country, then it is Myanmar. So such kind of objective questions can be framed on these hills. So next is Naga Hills. This you can easily remember by the name Naga Hills. It is in Nagaland here. Next we have Manipur Hills. Of course, it is based on name Manipur in the Manipur state. Then we have Mizo Hills based on its name Mizo Hills. Then we have Tripura Hills. It is here, located here. So based on its name, it is Tripura Hills. Now also you can be asked to means you can be given name of 4 hills and you can be asked to locate them from north to south. For example, if for example 4 names have been given: Mishmi, then we have say Mizo, then we have say any other hill from this Meghalaya region, and then we can have say Patkai Bum. Then you need to remember that from at the top it will be Mishmi, then we have Patkai Bum, then we will have say anyone from this Meghalaya one, and then we will be having then say Mizo Hills. So do remember this to how you will be marking them from north to south and east to west. So if you have done with this, then we will come to 3 important hills of Meghalaya: Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. You might have heard this name several times. So these 3 are in this order. First one is Garo, then Khasi, then Jaintia, from west to east. Then remember about this Barar range. Several times you are asked that the Barar range is in which state, or it used to separate, or this range used to join which states of northeast. Then you should remember that this Barar range used to join this Nagaland and Manipur region from this Assam and Meghalaya region. This one is Meghalaya and this whole region is of Assam. So this Barar range used to join this means Manipur and Nagaland region from this Meghalaya and Assam region. Barar range, you must remember this. It is mainly located in Assam, but it used to join these 2 states, Manipur, Nagaland, with Meghalaya and Assam. Then we have one more hill, that is Mikhir Hill. This is in the north of the Barar range in Assam. Remember this also, Mikhir Hills. It is in the north of the Barar range in Assam. So I hope that we have done with all the hills of the northeast. These are the major important ones. If you have drawn this rough sketch and you have marked it, I hope you remember this, because most of the hills here you will be remembering if you remember these states. Means see, Arunachal Pradesh at the top, then if coming like this, we have Nagaland, Manipur. Remember like this, A used to come before I, so Manipur, then Mizoram, and then after M, T used to come, so Tripura, here in this region. So you can remember like this from top to down. Of course, Arunachal Pradesh will be at the top, then Assam in the center, and Meghalaya in this region. It will be, Meghalaya will be above this Tripura and Mizoram. So you can remember like this. If you are done with this, then we will be moving to our next physiographic division under the main physiographic divisions of India. See, before we move to our second physiographic division, that is Northern Plains, we will be seeing two more topics under Northern Mountain. One is the longitudinal division of Himalayas. Many a times in 5 mark or 10 mark questions, you are asked to explain the or name the longitudinal division of Himalayas, and we will be seeing the difference between Western and Eastern Himalayas. This question also used to come in 10 marks or 15 marks, especially in the state PCS examinations or also in university examinations. So we will be also seeing these two topics. See, this video lecture will be a little longer, but I will be trying to cover it, means almost all the topics from this main heading, and this will be a comprehensive lecture. You just need to watch this lecture once and ensure that you are continuously making notes as this lecture goes on. So first one here is longitudinal division of Himalayas. See, earlier the division of Himalayas, what we saw, we know that latitude used to be like this. This would be 0 degree, and then latitude used to run from west to east, and that is what we saw in the earlier division of Himalayas, that this was Great Himalayas, then this was Lesser Himalayas, then say this was the Outer Himalayas. So the earlier division of Himalayas, what we saw or what we read earlier, so that was latitudinal division of Himalayas. So you can write it there where you have noted down the 3 parts of the Himalayas, mean Great, Lesser and Outer Himalayas, that they are the latitudinal division of Himalayas. As we have latitudinal division of Himalayas, similarly we will have longitudinal division of Himalayas. Longitude used to run from north to south, remember like this, north to south. So it means it will be dividing the Himalayas from west to east. So here are the 4 major division of Himalayas based on longitudes, and these have been mainly divided with the help of rivers. See, the first one is known as Kashmir, Punjab or Himachal Himalayas. The first division is means it is known as Kashmir Himalayas also. The other name for Kashmir Himalayas is Punjab Himalayas. The another name for it is Himachal. So you can remember like this. We have the Punjab region here, and from Punjab itself, Himachal Pradesh has been formed, and above this one is Kashmir region. So you can remember that this whole is one part of Himalayas based on longitudinal division. Kashmir, Punjab, Himachal, Himalayas, and it lies between Indus and Satluj. See, Satluj used to move from here like this, and Indus used to move from here. So the Himalaya lying between Satluj and Indus, that is known as Kashmir or Punjab Himalayas. So remember this, which means questions are framed like that, Punjab Himalayas lies between which 2 rivers, then you should remember this, Indus and Satluj. If you remember the position of the rivers, it won't be hard for you to remember this. So next is Kumayu. Kumayu we know as a place it is in Uttarakhand. So after this, just below say this Himachal or Punjab, we will have here Uttarakhand. So after this Punjab or Kashmir Himalayas, we will have this Kumayu Himalayas. Kumayu is in Uttarakhand. So Kumayu Himalayas, this is in between which two rivers? So the last boundary was Satluj. So this is between Satluj and Kali or Sharda river. Then this Kali or Sharda river also used to flow from Uttarakhand, and then it enters into Uttar Pradesh. So the Himalayas between these two regions, between Satluj and Kali or Sharda river, this is known as Kumayu Himalayas. So this is again, you can see that we are dividing this on based on longitude. See this one and then this one from north to south. So remember this, that Kumayu Himalayas is in between Satluj and Kali or Sharda river. Next, after this, you know that after this Uttarakhand we will have Nepal here, or this will be also become center, because next to it we will have only one more, that is Assam. So this one will become center. So this is also known as Central Himalayas or Nepal Himalayas based on longitudinal division. And it is in between which river? Kali or Sharda and Tista. We will have from Sikkim, Tista used to run here southward from Sikkim. And the last boundary here of this Kumayu Himalayas was Kali or Sharda river. Kali or Sharda river. So remember this, the central or Nepal Himalayas is in between Kali or Sharda river and Tista river. Next, the last division of Himalaya based on longitudes is Assam or Eastern Himalaya. This one is the easternmost, so Eastern Himalayas or in the Assam, since most of the mountain range are here in Assam. So it is also known as Assam Himalaya. So the last boundary from here, from the river was here, Tista from Sikkim. So it will be between Tista and of course you know the Brahmaputra becomes the easternmost boundary for the Himalaya, then that is Brahmaputra. So in between Tista and Brahmaputra we have Eastern Himalaya or Assam Himalaya. See, one you can remember this as Indus, you know as the westernmost, and Brahmaputra you know as the easternmost. The only thing you need to remember is Satluj, Sharda and Tista. Three rivers you need to remember in between this Satluj, then we have Kali or Sharda, and then we have Tista. Then you can easily mark that Indus to, from this Indus to Satluj, then Satluj to Kali, then from Kali to Tista, and then from Tista to Brahmaputra. So I hope you remember this longitudinal division of Himalayas. Next we have difference between Western and Eastern Himalayas. So I hope you people have noted down. I am rubbing this. See, I am writing here Western Himalayas and then Eastern Himalayas. If you are asked in 5 or 10 marks question, you can note down the following difference. You can write down the following differences. So we have already seen, I hope you remember few points from this. See, Western Himalayas, we know that the height of Eastern Himalayas are more than Western Himalayas. If you remember, I told you that the compressional force was more in Eastern Himalayas in compared to Western Himalayas. So what happened? The mountains in the Eastern Himalayas, or the sediments in the Eastern Himalayas, they uplifted to greater height in compared to Western Himalayas. So you can write the first difference, that the height of mountains is more than Western Himalayas, than in Western Himalayas. So this will be the first difference. So similarly, just opposite of this here, the height, H-E-I-G-S-T, height of mountains is less compared to that of Eastern Himalayas. So this is the first difference you can note down. Second, you as you know that compressional force was more here in eastern Himalayas between the Indo-Australian plate and the Eurasian plate. So the width here got reduced in compared to western Himalayas. So this will be having lesser width, say of 200 kilometers. This here in this portion you can write wider than eastern Himalayas with width of almost 400 kilometers. So you can note down this second difference. Third difference would be, you remember I have mentioned about snow line. So snow line is the height above which you find permanent cover of snow. So snow line, this one is first difference, this one is second, this one is third. Snow line is higher compared to that in eastern Himalayas, say 4,000 meters. Okay, means snow, you will find permanent cover of snow above 4,000 meters in this western Himalayas. On the other hand, in eastern Himalayas, what you can write down? In the eastern Himalayas, the snow line is lower than that in western Himalayas. You can write here, say 3,500 meters. This could be the third difference. Now fourth difference you can write here is that, see, eastern Himalayas will have more rainfall compared to western Himalayas. Why it will be having more rainfall? If you remember that I have told you in the monsoon topic, I have told you that the eastern branch of southwest monsoon, means if this is India, then one branch of southwest monsoon is used to strike the western Ghat and move from this region into central India or northwest India. But there is one more branch which used to move from here, from west of Bengal, from Bay of Bengal side, while this was from Arabian Sea, this was from Bay of Bengal side. So this branch used to cause heavy rainfall in this region, as this is not obstructed much by the mountains here, because the mountains here are not of that much great height. So it used to cause good amount of rainfall here in the Mizo, Garo, Khasi, Jaintia hills, and above that in the Assam and this eastern northeast India or in the eastern Himalaya region. While this branch, Arabian Sea branch, it used to firstly get struck here in the Western Ghat and used to cause most of the rainfall here in the west side of Western Ghat, and whatever it used to move from here, from this portion, means it used to cause maximum rainfall. Since it used to move here, the moisture laden winds used to cause maximum rainfall here itself, and by the time they reach here in the northwest India, the moisture content gets reduced and it used to cause very less rainfall in the western Himalaya section. So you can write here less rainfall in western Himalayas compared to eastern Himalayas. You can write here more rainfall than western Himalayas. You can write here, say the rainfall could be here 200 centimeter of annual rainfall. Here you can write it, say 100 centimeter of annual rainfall. So this is the fourth important difference. Fifth one you can write is See, there are several differences. Means I'm writing only 5 for you. You can I will tell you, you can write the other differences also. For example, if this question is asked in 10 marks, then you can only write 5 differences. And this same question is asked in 15 marks or 20 marks, then you can make 5 other differences. I will tell you how to make. So the fifth difference is that in this eastern Himalayas, we have evergreen forest. Evergreen forest cover. In the eastern Himalayas, due to good amount of rainfall, in this portion we have evergreen forest, while here we have moist deciduous. Moist deciduous forest. Deciduous are those forests which used to shed their leaves over a particular time period in an year. So remember these 5 differences, and you can also make other differences. For example, if you have written here moist deciduous forest, in the 6th one you can name the type of trees found here. Means if you remember what are moist deciduous forests, then you remember the type of trees here. So you can 6 different, you can name few trees which belong to this forest. Similarly, you can write name of the few trees which are of evergreen forest. Then if you remember one difference as a snow line, then similarly you can write another difference for tree line. Tree line is the maximum height above which trees are found, or above means by that height after that height you won't be seeing trees or plants above that. So that is tree line. So 7th difference you can write based on the tree line. Next, since you have written here about the mountain range, you can mention one mountain range from eastern Himalayas. Say you can mention Kanchenjunga. Similarly, one mountain you can mention from western Himalayas. Say you can mention Nagtibba. So in this manner you can create several other differences. If you have studied this topic properly, then you can create differences like this. So now we will be coming to northern plains of India. Please note down this. We will be now moving to our next heading, that is northern plains of India, that is second physiographic division of India. Dear friends, we will be moving to our second physiographic division, that is northern plains. So what do we mean by this term plains? Plain means a broad flat area. Means, as we know that plateau refers to an elevated land, plain refers to a broad and flat surface with very minimum amount of forest and trees. So this northern plains on the map of India, if you will see, this lies along the foothills of the Himalayas, and this northern plains also used to run from west to east. This northern plains of India is mainly formed by 3 river systems. It is mainly formed by 3 river systems. What are they? Indus river system, then we have Ganga river system, and then we have Brahmaputra river system. Note that I am not saying that it is formed by these 3 rivers. These northern plains are formed by these 3 river systems. River system means it includes the river itself as well as all its tributaries and the area drained by those tributaries and the particular river. So these northern plains are a flat broad surface area formed by 3 river systems, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. So if I talk about the length and width of these northern plain, this is almost 2400 kilometers in length, and the width varies from 240 kilometer to 320 kilometers. This is the width of northern plains. See, this width is means this 320 kilometer. This width is in the western side, means western side are little broader as compared to eastern side in terms of this plain area. Now, after this, see, I have drawn a rough sketch of marking. These northern plains have four relief features. Four relief features, and they are named as Bhabbar, Tarai, Bhangar, and Khadar. So these are the four relief features of the northern plain. We will see that what these actually means. See here, this is Himalayas. I means Himalaya mountains. On the foothills of these mountains, we have the first relief feature, that is Bhabbar. What is this Bhabbar? This is nothing but a collection of boulders which is brought by the rivers and deposited along the foothills of the Himalayas. When river move like this, it used to carry large amount of these boulders. Means these boulders are nothing but eroded materials of the mountains. So when this river used to come here on the foothills of Himalayas, due to low gradient, means the gradient here in the starting it was high, but as soon as the river reaches the foothills, the gradient or the slope reduces. So what the river used to do, it used to deposit the bigger sediments or bigger boulders here itself in this region. So what happens when river flows here in this region, it get disappeared. Disappeared means we are unable to see the river in this region, in this Bhabbar region. Why? Because these are very big boulders and river used to flow some means below this boulders, means so we are unable to see the river in this region, and that is why river is said to disappear in this Bhabbar region. So this, do remember this. You can write the definition for this. This Bhabbar is nothing but it is a 8 to 16 kilometer width region on the foothills of Shivaliks, where rivers used to disappear while coming from mountains. So do remember this. What is Bhabbar? It is a region which is 8 to 6 kilometer in width, and it is on the foothills of the Himalayas, and the rivers which are coming from mountains used to get disappeared in this region. So in this manner you can construct the definition for means different thing for northern plains, for Bhabbar, and so on. You can write like this. So if you have noted it down, we will move to another, our second relief feature under this northern plain, that is Tarai region. See, means next to Bhabbar it will be Tarai region. The rivers which earlier got disappeared in this Bhabbar region, they used to reappear in this Tarai region, and this Tarai region is nothing but a marshy area, since a marshy area, and also this region has large amount of forest as well as wildlife present here. So this Tarai region, you can write that it is a marshy area next to Bhabbar belt. You can write this marshy area next to Bhabbar belt. The rivers which disappeared in Bhabbar belt reappear in Tarai region. So you can note down the definition for this. So if you have noted down this definition of this Tarai, means marshy area next to Bhabbar belt, the rivers which disappeared in this Bhabbar belt used to reappear in the Tarai region, and this region is known for its forest and wildlife. So note down this. Next we will move to third relief feature under this northern plain, that is Bhangar. Now what is this Bhangar? This is nothing but old, means this is the largest part among all these relief features in the northern plain, and this is nothing but deposit of alluvial soil or old alluvial deposit. Old alluvial deposit means this plain or this region, this particular Bhangar plains were formed once due to deposition of this alluvial soil, and in this region floods generally don't used to come, and so the soil which was present means long years back, even today also that soil is present in this region. Why? Because this region is not under the influence of floods, the annual floods which used to come in the rivers of the northern plains. So remember this. What is Bhangar? It is the deposition of the old alluvial, means it is old alluvial deposit. This plain is the old alluvial deposit. It lies next to this Tarai region. See here, this is river valley, means from where the river used to flow, like this. And next to this river valley means the area which is very much prone to floods. For example, this region or this region, the area which is very prone to flood, that is known as Khadar. While the plains which are farther from the river valley, this region which is farther from the river valley, that is known as Bhangar. This is old alluvial, while this Khadar will be new alluvial. Why it is said as new alluvial? Because every year due to floods, new soil is deposited. The river used to deposit new soil in this region, in this floodplains area, and that is why the Khadar is known as new alluvial deposit. So note down for this Khadar, it is new alluvial deposit. So I hope you are clear with these four relief features. So this region, this Khadar, this is highly fertile, and it's known for high productivity. Why it is known for high productivity and why it is highly fertile? Because every year this region, this plain area or this Khadar region used to get enriched with new alluvial soil, and when the river it deposits new alluvials, means sand, silt, clay, mud, etc. It also used to deposit large amount of minerals when it used to come from the mountain regions, and due to which this soil remains highly fertile. This Khadar or the new alluvial soil used to remain highly fertile, and due to high fertility, the productivity here in this region is also very high. So do remember this. Also you can draw this diagram. Here you can show that how the rivers from the Himalayas, when they used to trickle down, they used to bring large boulders with them, and those round shaped boulders then used to get deposited here on the foothills. They are known as Bhabbar, and the rivers used to disappear in this Bhabbar belt. Then the rivers again used to reappear in this Tarai region, which is a marshy region known for its forest and wildlife. Then we are moving further. We have older alluvial deposits or Bhangar plains, and next to the river valley we have new alluvial deposit or Khadar plains. So I think this was all about this northern plains. Also, one more thing you need to remember, that this Bhangar, this Bhangar plain, this is known for its conker deposit. Now what is this conker? This is nothing but calcareous or calcium carbonate deposit. Calcareous deposit. This is nothing but deposits of calcium carbonate. Actually, this conker is, it is not that it is present only in the Bhangar, it is also present here in Khadar, but the maximum amount or the plains which is known for this conker, it is Bhangar. So objective questions are asked directly based on this, that which of the following relief feature is known for the calcareous deposit of conker, that is Bhangar. So if you are done with this, we will be moving to our third physiographic division, that is peninsular plateau. Before we move to our third physiographic division, that is peninsular plateau, you can note down few more points about northern plains. Actually, several times questions have been asked based on these points, so you can note down. See, we have already discussed this northern plains are formed by mainly three river system: Indus river system, Ganga river system, and Brahmaputra river system. But actually, the major portion of the Indus river system, which becomes a part of this northern plains, it lies in the Pakistan region. So mainly we will see about the Punjab plains, which are means you know that this Punjab plains exist between the Indus and the Satluj river. So this Punjab plains, what happens that we know that there are this Punjab, this name comes from the 5 rivers. So we know that, see, this is Indus river. When we see their location on the map or their path, the path of the river flowing from east to west or southwest, then at the top we will have Indus river, then we will have Jhelum, next we will have Chenab, then next we will have Ravi, then we will have Byas, and then we will have Satluj. See, so the area between these rivers, it is known as Doab. Doab means do means two and Ab means water. So the region or the area between two rivers is known as Doab in this Punjab plains. So we have several Doabs due to large number of rivers flowing in Punjab plains. We have several Doabs here in the Punjab region. So you can you need to know the names of these Doab, because these are several times asked that this Doab is between which two rivers. So know the name of first. This is Bisht Doab. So what is Bisht Doab? It is the region between Byas and Satluj river. You can remember through the initial alphabets. BIST. ST stands for Satluj, BI for Byas, and Doab, you know, the land between two rivers. So first one is Byas, between Satluj and Byas river. Next we have Bari, that is between Byas and Ravi river. The land between this Byas and Ravi river, it is known as Bari Doab. Next we have Rachna Doab. This is the land between Ravi and Chenab, that is RA Ravi and CH Chenab, that is known as Rachna Doab. Next we have Chhaj Doab. This is between Chenab and Jhelum. J for Jhelum and CH for this Chenab, the land between Jhelum and Chenab. And finally we have Sindh Sagar. Sindh Sagar, where it refers to, Sindh refers for Indus, and then here it refers to Jhelum. The land between Indus and Jhelum refers to Sindh Sagar Doab. So remember this, the Punjab plains are known for the Doab regions. There are mainly these 5 Doabs, and these are named based on the regions or between the rivers where they are found. Also remember that The Khadar or the new alluvial soil, it is known by the name Beth in Punjab. So it has been asked in several times in the exam that Beth in the Punjab region is another name for which relief feature of northern plains, when Khadar, Bhangar, Bhabbar or Terai. So that is Khadar. Next you need to know that this Barind and Bhur, these are features of Bhangar plains. Bhangar relief feature under northern plains. So what is this Barind and Bhur? This is nothing but an elevated land compared to surrounding plain areas. And why these are elevated? Because of deposition made by the rivers on the plain. So this Barind and Bhur are the part of Bhangar plains. Also these terms Re, Kallar and Usar, what are these? These are also become feature of this Bhangar plains. The Bhangar soil or the Bhangar region, when it get deposited with too much amount of sodium, sodium, calcium and magnesium, means these salt is to get deposited over the Bhangar plains in large amount, then the soil used to get converted into some saline kind of soil, and it is known by these names Re, Kallar and Usar. So these are also features of Bhangar plain. So if you are asked that the terms Re, Kallar and Usar is related to which relief feature of the northern plains, Bhangar, Khadar, Babbar or Terai, then you need to mention it is as Bhangar. Next we have Ganga plains. See, Ganga plains is mainly divided into two. One is means the Awadh plains, means the region lying east of Lucknow area, and one is the Ruhelkhand area, that is the region lying in the Bareilly and north of the Bareilly region. So these two become the part of the Ganga plains. And for Brahmaputra plains, one important fact you need to remember is that there is a famous river island in this region, that is Majuli Island. This Majuli Island is in Assam, and also this has become the first district, means first island to be named as district. So Majuli district. So it is in Assam. It is the river island in the Brahmaputra river. Okay. So these are few other important facts. I hope you people have noted it down. Now we will be moving to Peninsular Plateau, our third physiographic division, that is Peninsular Plateau. So now we will be moving to our third physiographic division, that is Peninsular Plateau. See, what does the term plateau refers to? It refers to an elevated land. And what does peninsula refers to? A land bounded by water on three sides. Peninsula means a land bounded by water on three sides, while plateau refers to an elevated land. Now, if I draw a rough diagram of the southern India, we see here it is something like this. So this region is actually refers to peninsular plateau of India. It is on three sides bounded by the water. Here we have Bay of Bengal region. In this side we have Arabian Sea region, and here we have the Indian Ocean region. So this portion is bounded by the three sides. It's bounded by water on three sides. It is known as this peninsula, and also this portion is little elevated or little upper compared to the plains region. That is why it is known as peninsular plateau. See, this peninsular plateau is divided into two parts mainly. These are Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. We have Narmada River flowing here. In the north of the Narmada River, we have Central Highlands, while in the south we have Deccan Plateau. Remember this, Narmada River is the main dividing point between the Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. Now this Central Highland, it consists of different other plateaus, like we have Malwa Plateau. Malwa Plateau is in the western, it covers the western Madhya Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan. Then we have Bundelkhand Plateau. These are all in the parts of Central Highlands. Bundelkhand. This Bundelkhand covers the region of Gwalior, Jhansi and northern parts of MP and southern parts of UP. This Bundelkhand. Then we have Baghelkhand region. Baghelkhand region covers the means northeast Madhya Pradesh region, that is parts of Rewa, then Sagar, Damoh, that region, that is known as Baghelkhand. Then we have Chota Nagpur Plateau. This Chota Nagpur Plateau mainly covers the parts of Jharkhand, northern Chhattisgarh and parts of southern Bihar and few parts of Odisha and West Bengal. This is the region covered by Chota Nagpur. So these are all parts of Central Highland. And below this we have Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau here, this one is known as Deccan Plateau, Deccan portion. Here we have Dandakaran region, Dandakaran Plateau, Dandakaranya. Then here we have Telangana Plateau. So all these are parts of this Deccan Plateau. So remember this, this is in short division of this Peninsular Plateau and the parts of Peninsular Plateau. So you can make a flow chart of it and you can mark this. Next we will be seeing that this Peninsular Plateau, the means what the question are mainly framed based on Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Now these two are very important parts of this Peninsular Plateau. This Peninsular Plateau consists of Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. These are not true mountains, but a type of mountain. These are type of mountain ranges. This Western Ghat, it used to run in the west of this Peninsular Plateau, while Eastern Ghat used to run from north to south in the eastern portion of this Peninsular Plateau. So we will be actually studying, first we will be seeing that how these Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats are formed. Then mainly we will see the difference between Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats, and while seeing the difference between the Western and Eastern Ghats, we will be trying to learn the important features of both Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Actually from this portion mainly the question is asked that you need to differentiate between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. The basics of Peninsular Plateau you might have understood, but the major question, subjective type question, is mainly asked based on the division between the difference between the Western Ghats or Eastern Ghats. And if you know the features of these Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, you can also solve the objective questions which are framed from this topic. So we will see that how these Western Ghats, what are these Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So do remember that these Western Ghats are nothing but block mountains. These are block mountains. And what are Eastern Ghats? These are residual fold mountains. Residual fold mountains. And these are block mountains. See what happened. Consider this to be an elevated land or plateau. This is the Peninsular Plateau. Consider this to be Peninsular Plateau of India. See, this one is the west portion, this one is the east portion of this plateau. See what happened, that due to some tectonic activities occurring over over the earth crust. Earth, you know that earth crust has been divided into several plates, so which are floating over the molten magma or the convection cell. So several tectonic activities used to occur over the in that region, and due to that several landforms are formed over the this land surface. So this is west portion, this is east portion of this peninsular plateau. So what happened, that due to this tectonic activities, a crack or a fault got developed in this western part of this plateau. Later, this portion, this part, it got this part sinked into the Arabian Sea. Here we know that this part is Arabian Sea region. So this part got sinked into the Arabian Sea region. So now you can understand, if this portion it got sank in this Arabian Sea region, and this will become an elevated portion. This portion will be, in comparison to this will become an elevated portion. Later, again, due to tectonic activities happening below the in the earth crust, this land it rotated like this. This portion, this complete portion, it rotated like this. So due to rotation, what happened, that this portion got elevated, and the slope of this peninsular plateau, it turned into east side. The slope became towards east side. So what happened, that most of the rivers which originated from this river, they started flowing eastwards. So that is why you see that most of the rivers, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, or other rivers, Tungabhadra and all, they all they all originate from this region of Western Ghats or these elevated mountains here in the west region, and they all used to flow eastward. Only very few rivers which are originating here on the western edge of this mountain or the western Ghats. Very few number of rivers used to flow here in this direction, while the maximum rivers used to flow here in eastern direction. Why? Because due to upliftment, due to sinking of this portion, and due to upliftment of this portion, the slope turned eastward. So this uplifted portion itself is known as Western Ghats, and since this one uplifted, this portion uplifted, the height of Western Ghat the height of Western Ghat, it got increased in comparison to mountains formed in this region. So these so as you saw the process how these mountains are formed here in Western Ghats, so that is why it is known as block mountains. See, we have different types of mountains: fold mountains, fault mountains, volcanic mountains, block mountains. So we will study about these mountains, formation of these mountains in detail in some other chapters, say geomorphology. But here you must, if you remember that how these mountains are formed, then what I have explained you about here Western Ghats, you must be remembering that this is how block mountains are formed. So that is why Western Ghats are known as block mountains, while these Eastern Ghats, these are known as residual fold mountains. So remember this about the formation, and that is now we will see the difference about these Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. You will come to know more features about these two elevated portions in the peninsular region of India, and you should note down the difference between these Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, and it is directly asked in 10 marks or 15 marks questions in the subjective exams. So we will be now studying about difference between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. We will try to note down only the important difference between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. The first important difference related to these two are about their length. Western Ghats are longer in comparison to Eastern Ghats. So you can write here that length of Western Ghat is more than Eastern Ghats. And you can write here length has almost 1600 kilometers. This is the length of Western Ghats. Then here you can write length of Eastern Ghat is lesser than Western Ghats. The length is here of Eastern Ghats is almost of 1100 kilometers. So this is the first difference you can note down. Second important difference about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats is about their height. So this Western Ghats, these are higher than Eastern Ghats. Okay, the general means the average height of Western Ghat is almost between 900 meters to 1600 meters, while that of Eastern Ghats, these are smaller than Western Ghats. Here the average height is near about 600 to 700 meters. Okay. Here you can write smaller or lower, anything. Next important difference about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats is their stretch. While these Western Ghat, it stretches from Gujarat to Tamil Nadu, or we can say that from river Tapti to Kanyakumari. This is the stretch for from north to south stretch of Western Ghats, and here Eastern Ghats we have from Odisha to Tamil Nadu, or we can also write here as Mahanadi to Vaigai. Vaigai is the river in Tamil Nadu in the southern portion, while Mahanadi is in Odisha. So this is the third important difference about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Next, fourth you can note down is that the highest peak of the Western Ghat is Anai Modi, and its height is almost 2695 meters, while the highest peak of Eastern Ghat, it is Jinda Gada, and it is almost 1609 meters, and it is this peak is in Andhra Pradesh. Note down this. It is the fourth difference. Fifth important difference about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats is that the length of Western Ghats while moving from north to south, the height of Western Ghats used to increase. Means if we are moving like this from north to south in Western Ghats, the hills here will be having lower height compared to hills here. So that is why Anai Modi, the highest peak of Western Ghats, it is located in the southern region, that is in the parts of Tamil Nadu and bordering Kerala region, in that part. So fifth difference you can write that height of hills decreases while moving north to south in Western Ghats. On the other hand, in Eastern Ghat, what will happen? While moving from north to south in Eastern Ghats, the height of the hills used to decrease. This means the highest peak will be found in Eastern Ghats in the northern portion, while in the southern portion the hills found will be having lesser height in compared to hills found in the northern portion. So the next difference you can write is height of hill decreases while moving north to south in Eastern Ghats. So this is the fifth difference. Sixth difference is that these Western Ghats have been named as a biodiversity hotspot. Biodiversity hotspot. See, in the world there are almost 35-36 biodiversity hotspots currently, and Western Ghat is one of those biodiversity hotspots. While Eastern Ghat has not been named as, it is not a biodiversity hotspot. So this is the sixth difference. If you people have noted it down, then I will be rubbing this and moving to few other differences about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So note down this. Direct question is asked based on in 10 marks or 15 marks. You need to just differentiate between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Such kind of questions are asked in state PCS exams also, as well as in means any other subjective exam, your university exams or other exams. And based on these facts and figures, several time objective questions are framed in various competitive exams. So you must remember the facts about Western and Eastern Ghats. If you people have noted down, we will be moving to few other differences about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Note down these other differences also. See, the length of video is getting longer, so I will be writing down prior to before I will be explaining. So these are few other differences between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. First one is that these Western Ghats is a continuous range with very less number of passes. Few passes named in Western Ghats are Thal Ghat, Bhor Ghat and Pal Ghat. Continuous range means Western Ghat used to run like this with very less number of passes in between the mountain ranges. So this is about Western Ghats. While in case of Eastern Ghats have large number of passes between them, and especially here in between Godavari and Krishna river, there is hardly any mountain present here, and this is almost behave like a plain area in case of Eastern Ghat. So one difference about Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat is that while Western Ghat is a continuous range, remember that Eastern Ghat is discontinuous range. And why it is discontinuous range? Because we know that large number of rivers originating in Western Ghat used to move here in the eastern direction, west to east, and these rivers used to cut across these mountains before reaching the Bay of Bengal region. These rivers like Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Tungabhadra and all these rivers used to move from west to east, cutting the these Eastern Ghats, and that is why there are large number of passes present in the Eastern Ghats. So remember this. Next difference is that the type of soil present in Western Ghat is black soil and laterite soil, while in case of Eastern Ghat there are mainly red and yellow soil and alluvial soil. You should remember that the Deccan portion or this part of the Western Ghat, this is why mainly of volcanic in origin or igneous rock origin. That is why we generally find black soil here. And again, due to high precipitation in the Western Ghats and due to being in the tropical region, high temperature present here, we know that at a particular height, if we have high temperature and high precipitation, then we have leaching activities present there, and due to this leaching activity, it results in the laterite soil formation. So that is why we have laterite soil formation in the Western Ghats region. So So remember this another difference. Next difference is that the major crop produced in the Western Ghats are tea and coffee, while in case of Eastern Ghats it is rice cultivation. Similarly, another difference is that we know that Western Ghats used to face the Arabian Sea. This portion, the western portion consists of the Arabian Sea region. So Western Ghats used to face Arabian Sea, while Eastern Ghats used to face Bay of Bengal region. We know that on the eastern side we have Bay of Bengal. Next difference is 250 centimeter of annual rainfall is here in case of Western Ghats. Why the rainfall is high here? Because these Western Ghats are perpendicular to the southwest monsoon. Western Ghats run like this, southwest monsoon are like this. So we know that if moisture laden winds used to strike a mountain perpendicularly, it used to cause much of the precipitation here in this region. So west portion of Western Ghats especially has almost 600 to 400 centimeters of annual rainfall, while few other parts means generally eastern part of this Western Ghats used to remain dry or in the rain shadow region. It is or in other words we can say that it is a leeward region, while the windward side it used to receive good amount of rainfall. The average rainfall used to come almost 250 centimeter of rainfall, while it is only 100 centimeter of annual rainfall in case of Eastern Ghats. Why? Because Eastern Ghats is not under direct influence of southwest monsoon. These moisture laden winds are not able to pass these Western Ghats, so Eastern Ghats generally used to remain dry or receive less rainfall. The rainfall which even it is receiving, that is not because of the southwest monsoon, but this rainfall is mainly due to cyclonic rainfall. So cyclonic rainfall means this Bay of Bengal region is very much prone to cyclones. So we generally see here rainfall due to cyclones, or the pre-monsoonal rainfall are found in this region. Next important difference is that about the vegetation. Generally we find tropical evergreen forest in the Western Ghats, while in case of Eastern Ghats we have dry deciduous forest. So these are one more difference you can write, that the major rainfall here in Western Ghats is due to southwest monsoon, while here in case of Eastern Ghats the maximum rainfall is due to cyclonic rainfall. So I hope you people have noted down all these 13 differences. If you remember almost 10 of them, that is enough. If you are asked a question in subjective examinations, if you are asked a question in 10 marks or 15 marks, you need to differentiate between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, and you can write these differences. Also remember that a few more points. For example, this Western Ghats, if you are asked that where these two Ghats used to meet, so these two Ghats mean Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats used to meet here in the Nilgiri Hills. Nilgiri Hills. Now the highest peak of this Nilgiri Hills is, remember this, it is Doda Beta. You might have heard these names so many times. Nilgiri Hills, Doda Beta. So remember the Nilgiri Hills is a place or is the region where these Western Ghats or Eastern Ghats running from north to south used to meet here, and the highest peak of Nilgiri Hills is Doda Beta. Also you remember that the highest peak of Western Ghats is Anai Modi, while the highest peak of Eastern Ghats is Jindagada. So I hope you people have noted down. Now we will be moving to our fourth physiographic division, that is coastal plains of India. Dear friends, now we will be moving to our fourth physiographic division, that is coastal plains. See, we have already studied about plains. What do you mean by plain? Plain is a broad and flat surface area. So now we will study about coastal plains. So what do you mean by coastal plains? Coastal plains are the plain or flat broad surface area which are adjacent to sea coast. Means here we have already seen that this one is Western Ghats and this portion is Eastern Ghats. This one has Eastern Ghats, this one has Western Ghats. So as per definition of coastal plain, flat surface area, 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 flat adjacent to sea coast. This is the definition for coastal plains. So this would be the region for coastal plains. Flat surface area and it is adjacent to sea coast. These are the while on the eastern side it is known as east coastal plain. East coastal plains. On the western side it is known as west coastal plains. So we will see the features of this west coastal plains and east coastal plains, and while seeing the features of those west coastal plains and east coastal plains, we will try to learn about these features. So we will be seeing this feature in terms of difference between west coastal plains and east coastal plains, because in the subjective examination you are actually directly asked to mention the difference between the west coastal plains and east coastal plains. If you know the features, then easily you can differentiate between them. Also in terms of objective questions, you can easily able to figure out the correct option. So I will be writing the difference between them and then explaining it to you. West coastal plains, and then we have east coastal plains. So see, the first point here is extension of these both, where means west coastal plains and east coastal plains. This one is west coastal plains. It lies between Western Ghats and Arabian Sea. So first point will be that west coastal plain lies between Western Ghats and Arabian Sea. Note down this. This is the first. On the other hand, means eastern coastal plains, ECP, east coastal plains, lies between Bay of Bengal and Eastern Ghats. So remember, note down this. This is the first difference. This is the east coastal plains. Here we have Bay of Bengal region, and this one is Eastern Ghats. Next difference is that the width of WCP, West Coastal Plain, is 20 to 30 kilometers. Width means this region, this area, this length. This length is 20 to 30 kilometers. On the other side, in case of Eastern Ghat, this length is 100 to 150 kilometers. Note down this. Means eastern coastal plains are wider, much wider in compared to west coastal plains. The width of west coastal plains is 20 to 30 kilometers. Width of east coastal plain is of 100 to 150 kilometers. So this is the second difference. Now we have third difference. See, these means this west coastal plain, it used to start from here in Gujarat and used to end here in Tamil Nadu. On the other hand, east coastal plains used to start from West Bengal and used to end here in Tamil Nadu. Both almost run for almost say 1500 kilometers. So length of these both east coastal plains and west coastal plains are almost similar. So I'm not writing about the length has a difference, but you can note down the region covered by them. From here, from Gujarat, or you can mention the states: Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, and then Kerala and Tamil Nadu. These are the states covered by the west coastal plains. On the other hand, in case of east coastal plains, we have West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra, then we also have Telangana. Why we are taking Telangana? We know Telangana is here, but actually these west coastal plains are quite wide, so they cover few parts of Telangana also. West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra, Telangana, and then of course Tamil Nadu. So this is the third difference between the two, the regions or the states covered by these coastal plains. Now fourth difference will be the division. See, these west coastal plains are divided into 4 parts, while east coastal plains are mainly divided into 2 parts. So in case of west coastal plains, you can write here mainly. There can be many other divisions, but mainly divided into 4 parts. First one is Gujarat plains. This region, the area, the plains or the coastal plains are in the Gujarat region, that is known as Gujarat plains. Next we have Konkan plains. Konkan plain will consist of mainly this region of Maharashtra and parts of Goa. Konkan, then we have Kannada, and finally we have Malabar. See, Konkan is in Maharashtra, Kannada will be covering the parts of Karnataka, and this Malabar will be covering the parts of this Kerala region. On the other side, in east coastal plains, we have mainly 2 parts. One is northern Sirkar and second one is Coromandel coast. See, this region means the region of Odisha and parts of Andhra Pradesh. That is, this region is known as northern Sirkar, means area covering of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. This is known as northern Sirkar, while this region means area of covering of parts of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. This is known as Coromandel coast. This region, this area. So remember this is the 4th difference between the 2 coastal plains, west coastal plains and east coastal plains. That this is mainly divided into 4 parts: Gujarat, Konkan, Kannada, Malabar, and this is mainly into 2: northern Sirkar and Coromandel coast. See, next you can write about these the difference. You can write about these are that this west coastal plain, these are submergent plain, these are having submergent coastline, while these east coastal plains, they have emergent coastline. Note down these 5 differences. I will be rubbing this and moving on the next. I will be explaining it to you that what does it mean by submergent and emergent, and we will be seeing a few other differences between these west coastal plains and east coastal plains. So note down these 5 differences. We will be seeing that what do we mean by this submergence and emergence coastlines. See, this emergent coastline, it means that the coastal region or the continental shelf or the land surface lying in this region, means the land which is getting under this sea or getting within the water, means this region this region is tectonically active. Tectonically active. Now, what does it mean that this region or means the land below this water is tectonically active? It means that due to few tectonic activities, it is pushing the land upwards. Emergence means getting immersed or getting pushed upward. So what happens that the continental shelf or the abyssal plains means mainly the continental shelf part. We will be talking about the continental shelf part which lies from the coastline into the ocean water. This continental shelf part, this continental shelf part is getting pushed upwards. It is getting pushed upward due to tectonically active plates or tectonic activity going on below this ocean surface. So that is why this region or the eastern portion of India, that is, it is known as emergent coast. Why? Because the continental shelves here are little they are little means higher and longer. In this region, the continental shelves are having longer distance. They cover longer distance compared to that in western part. While this submergent coastline, this is tectonically inactive. Tectonically inactive means such kind. See, the whole of this western coastal plains is. It is not that the whole of the west coastal plains is submergent coast. We have few emergent coastline also in this, but mainly we will be calling it as submergence coastline because maximum portion is submergence coastline. So since it is tectonically not active, this is the continental shelf region here in this part. It has went deeper in compared to in the eastern part. The continental shelf region here, it is deeper here in comparison to in the eastern part. Why? Because there is no such pushing or no such tectonic activity going on which used to push the continental shelf upward. So with this you can understand that in which side the depth of the sea will be higher in case of this continental shelf. Of course, since this one is submergent, so depth will be lower here. Depth of sea will be lower here on the coast. Depth of sea on the coast. Why? Because of submergent. Depth of sea will be higher here. Why? Because this is submergent coastline, means this continental shelf is way below the water compared to in east. And here what will happen? Depth of sea will be lower in this continental shelf region on the eastern side. So if you have understood this, that the depth of the sea in the this continental shelf region will be lower, you can write this as one difference between. You have noted down the fifth difference as submergent coastline and emergent coastline in the west coastal plain and east coastal plain. The sixth difference you can write down is that depth of sea will be high at continental shelf, while here depth of sea will be low at continental shelf. Now, if you are clear with submergent and emergent coast and how it impacts the depth of sea and the continental shelf, then you can know one more difference between these two, that since the depth of sea is higher here in this continental shelf region, more number of ports will be developed in this region itself. Why? Because ports cannot be developed in shallow waters. Means ports are developed at this coastline or in the coastal regions. So they are developed only at places where the depth of the sea is high. Means it should have enough depth required for the ports to be developed. So maximum ports are developed in west coastal plains. Here you can write less number of ports are found or developed here. So I hope you people are clear with why maximum ports are developed here in the west coastal plains or in the western coastline and not in the eastern. Why? Because these are submergent. These will have higher depth at the continental shelf region in comparison to east coastal plains or eastern coastlines. So this one was the seventh difference. Eighth one, you can write that the continental shelf, from here only you can continental, this shelf is longer, and here you can write that continental shelf is shorter. So this is the eighth difference. Ninth difference which you can note down here is about west coastal plains and east coastal plains. You can note down is that in the west coastal plains we see formation of estuaries, while in the east coastal plains we see formation of deltas. So this one is ninth difference between these two. See, what do you mean by estuary and what do you mean by delta? See, estuary is nothing but a partially closed water body which is formed at the mouth of the river. See what happens in see, for example, if this is the river and this is the ocean region or sea region, then consider a sandbar located here in this ocean region. Now this becomes a land surface. Okay, now we have this river which is coming from here. A part of this river will move like this and then enter into ocean. So we see that this particular region or this particular portion of water, this become partially enclosed by the land area. This region becomes partially enclosed by the land area. So this is known as estuary. These are found in the western coastal plains. These estuaries are found in the western coastal plains. Now what is delta? When a river used to move from hills and then it used to move into the plains, it used to bring large amount of sediments, boulders along with it, and when it reaches the plain, especially at its mouth, its speed used to get decrease. Means its speed used to decrease, and it used to decrease to such an extent that it used to start depositing these sediments all around. When it used to deposit these sediments all around, the water used to flow in this manner. So it used to form a triangle shape. See this triangle shape feature. This is a depositional feature, and this is known as delta. So the rivers in the east flowing in the eastern side, or we see that the east coastal plains will have this depositional feature, that is delta, while in the west coastal plains we will have estuary. Now why it is show that estuaries are formed here in the west coastal plains and deltas are formed here in the east coastal plains? See, For deltas to be formed, there are two conditions needed. Remember this. First is that the river should flow long distance, and second thing is that the river should carry sediments, huge sediments. The river should carry huge sediment and it should flow long distance, and the gradient, one more point you can write, the gradient should reduce gradually. The gradient, the flow of gradient. So these are the three conditions needed for deltas to be formed. Means the river which is moving downwards, it should in the starting stage, it should be moving at a high gradient, means it should come down at a very good speed. Then slowly its gradient should reduce, means the speed of river should reduce, and the speed of river means river should be least at its mouth. Okay, and along with this, the river should have large amount of sediment for depositing it at the mouth. So these are the three conditions needed for formation of deltas. Now we know that the rivers originating here in the Western Ghats, they used to move here in the east. For example, Godavari moving like this, Krishna moving like this, then we have Kaveri moving like this, and several other rivers moving, originating in the Western Ghats and moving in the east portion. Why? We have already seen the formation of Western Ghat, that the slope is towards Eastern Ghat. How this means due to the fracture, the Western Ghat, this the eastern portion got uplifted and the slope went on that side, east side. So that is why maximum river used to flow in the eastern side. So what happened that these rivers originating in the Western Ghat, they meet all these three conditions while flowing eastward. First, they flow longer distance, say almost 500 to 800 kilometers. This much distance are covered by these rivers flowing in the flowing from west to east. Then they carry huge sediment. Of course, when they are originating from the mountains, while moving downwards, they used to break the rocks into smaller particles. Those particles are then called as sediments or boulders. Then this river used to carry those sediments and boulders while moving eastwards. Third one is the gradient should reduce gradually. Of course, here the gradient is high because Western Ghats have a height of almost 1600 meters. So when the river used to move from 1600 meters and it moves downwards, the gradient of the river used to reduce slowly. And when it reaches here at its mouth, it used to deposit the sediments like this, and it used to make this depositional feature, that is delta, at the mouth of the river or in the east coastal plains. So I hope you are clear with this. Now why deltas are not formed here in the west coastal plains? See, the river, now these conditions are not met by the rivers originating and moving toward the western coast. For example, if a river originates here and it moves in this portion, then see, first condition, river should flow long distance. The river here is flowing only of almost 100 kilometers or even less than that, because we know that the width of this Western Ghat is almost 20 to 30 kilometers. So river used to quickly move downwards at a very steep gradient, and then it used to enter the Arabian Sea or the sea region. So neither the first condition is met. Even if the river carries huge sediment, because the river won't be able to carry huge sediments. Why? Because since it is covering low, though it is means moving from a very steep gradient, means the river from Western Ghat, originating from Western Ghats, and moving in the western coast or in the western side, though they are moving at a very steep gradient, but since they are covering very lesser amount of distance, they won't be able to carry huge amount of sediment with them. Third condition will also be not be met. Why? Because the gradient is not reducing gradually. Here they are having very strong gradient, and within 20 to 30 kilometers this river is getting deposited here in the sea region. So again third condition is not met. So we see here that the the condition for formation of deltas are not met in the western coastal plain. So here we have actually formation of estuaries with the short rivers, means rivers like Vagai, rivers originating in the western Ghats and flowing here in the west coast, they used to form estuaries. So this was the ninth difference about these. I hope you people have noted it down. I will be writing the 10th difference. 10th difference will be, see this region, the western coastal plains, this mainly consists of black soil and we have laterite soil. While we have already seen that in this coastal plains of eastern Ghats, these are mainly dominated by alluvial soil, and generally means maximum amount of soil is alluvial soil, but also we at some places we see red and yellow soil, red and yellow soil. So note down this. This is the 10th difference between the two, between the east coastal plains and the west coastal plains. So I hope that with the help of these differences, you are knowing the important features of these west coastal plains and east coastal plains. You Coromandel, Coromandel, Coromandel coast. So if you people have noted it down, now we will be moving to our next physiographic division, that is Indian deserts. Now moving to our next physiographic division, that is Indian desert. Indian deserts. So what do we mean by the desert? Desert means a barren land surface area which is generally not good for cultivation. It receives very less amount of rainfall, and it is neither good for the survival of the plants, animals or human beings. So that is known as desert area. When we are talking about Indian desert, we will see these deserts are of two types: cold desert and hot desert. When we will talk about Indian desert, we will study about both, because in India we have presence of both. See Ladakh, and this Ladakh is an example of cold desert, while Thar desert in Rajasthan, Thar desert or western Rajasthan, this one is an example of hot desert. So we will see about both this. See why a land gets converted. If this is the land, why it will be getting converted to desert? So there are few features why a land gets converted into desert. Firstly, if the land receives very low rainfall, this will be the first reason. Or if the land receives rainfall only in the form of snow, this will be the first reason, very low rainfall, or if it receives the rainfall in the form of snow. Second, what can be the second reason for a land getting converted into desert? This would be a high evaporation. Means on one side, while it is receiving very less rainfall, on the other side the evaporation would be high from that surface. Why? Because of direct sunlight or high temperatures. So these two things are the main reasons for land getting converted into desert. Third one we can write it is as erosion or land degradation. This is the these are the three reasons why a land gets converted into desert. So if you are asked that why are deserts formed, then you can write these three reasons. Why? Because of low rainfall in that region, or because of rainfall in the form of snow. Second is high evaporation due to direct sunlight or or direct sun rays, or due to high temperatures there in that region. And third would be erosion caused by either, say, it is either caused by the air, or of course in the desert area there is very less erosion in terms of water erosion or fluid erosion. Mainly the erosion in the desert area is of air erosion or air erosion. ठीक है? Erosion, this portion. So these are the three reasons why a land gets converted into desert. Now see what happens, that if you have noted down, I am rubbing this. See, this Thar, we will talk initially about this hot desert, this Thar desert or the western Rajasthan. When you will see here in the west, where we find this western Rajasthan or this Thar desert, you will see that the latitude for this would be somewhere around from 25 degree to 30 degree north latitude. Means this Thar desert or hot desert is located in between these latitudes. And where it is located? On the, of course, western side of the on the western side of India. So what you will find, that most of the deserts in this world are located between these two latitudes itself. Means you can increase the latitude to say by 35 degree north. Means maximum desert in this world, they are located on the western side of the countries or western sides of the continents, and they are located between these 25 degree to 35 degree north latitude. And since Thar desert is also becoming a part between these two latitudes, and also it is in the western part of the India, so that this is also becoming a desert region. So why it happens? There are two reasons. Note down these two reasons. The first thing is that the trade winds, winds in the tropics. The main winds in the tropics are trade winds, and they used to blow from east to west. Here you can write this, trade winds. They used to blow from east to west. So since the wind is blowing from east to west, so whatever the moisture these winds will be carrying, these, remember that these are surface winds. These are surface winds. So whatever amount of moisture these trade winds will be carrying, also these are in the tropical region, parts of this will be lying within the region of these trade winds. Okay, tropical region. So whatever moisture these trade winds will be carrying, they will be first striking the eastern parts of the continents or eastern parts of the countries, and they will try to deposit maximum moisture in the eastern region. So while the time the same winds will be reaching in the western parts, they won't be having moisture content with them. So when they reach western parts, they are unable to precipitate in the western parts, unable to cause precipitation. These trade winds blowing from east to west, or the surface wind blowing from east to west in the tropical region, these are unable to cause precipitation in western parts of continent, as they first strike eastern part and cause maximum precipitation there itself. By the time these winds reach west side, moisture content is reduced to zero, or you can say that almost to zero. So you can write like this, that what are the two reasons why maximum deserts are found in between these two latitudes and why on the western side. First one is the reason for this is the surface winds, that is trade winds moving from east to west, because the earth rotates from west to east. In this wind used to move in the tropical region, it used to carry, when it used to move from over ocean towards land, it used to carry moisture, but since it strikes the eastern part of the continent first, it used to deposit in maximum rainfall there only in the eastern part and few amount in the central part. But as soon as it reaches the western part, the moisture content used to get emptied by that time, so unable to deposit or unable to precipitate here in the western part. This was the first reason. If you will have noted down, I am moving to second reason. Now second reason for the same is, we people have studied about the three cells, means Hadley cell, Ferrel cell and polar cells. So we remember that this latitude between 25 to 35 degree north latitude, this latitude become the region for means descending air. Now we know that rainfall is caused by ascending air, means the air which used to rise up, the air on getting warm, the warm air, when it rises up, it cools down, it releases heat in the form of latent heat of condensation, and then it used to condensate, means due to condensation it used to precipitate, or it used to cause rainfall. But when an air sinks or descends or it moves down, it doesn't used to cause rainfall. And this particular region, means the air which was getting uplifted between 0 to 5 degree north latitude and 0 to 5 degree south latitude, this air getting uplifted here, it used to descend here between, it used to move down here between these two latitudes. Since there is descending air between these two latitudes, so rainfall is again due to descending air, no rainfall is caused. So this is the second reason, that as per the tricellular model, you can write here, as per tricellular model of global atmospheric circulation, this latitude is a latitude of descending air, and so no rainfall is caused, as we know that rainfall is caused by ascending air, and that is why the air which used to get uplift here in the equatorial region between 0 to 5 degrees north and 0 to 5 degrees south, this region, this equatorial region, we used to receive that maximum rainfall is received in this maximum rainfall is received in this equatorial region. Why? Because the air used to ascend, it used to move upwards in this region, while deserts are seen in this region. Why? Because air used to descend in this region, because when air used to descend, now it used to get more cooler, rather it used to get more warm. When air used to rise up, it used to get cooler and release the latent heat, and then it used to precipitate. On the contrary to this, when the air used to descend, it used to get warm, and because when it used to descend, it used to touch the surface and then it used to get warming. That in that case the air doesn't causes rainfall. So this is the two reason why we see that deserts are formed between these two latitudes and on the western sides of the continents or western sides of the countries. So this is the reason why Thar desert is formed here. You will mainly find here shrubs. Vegetation is very poor. You will mainly find here shrubs and plants with which have roots, deep roots. Why deep roots? Because water won't be available easily. So in order, for the search of water, the roots will be going deep into the earth in order to find the water. And of course, in terms of wildlife, you will remember that what kind of wildlife we see here in this Thar region. And of course, camel. Then we have donkeys or mules, and similarly horses and all. This kind of wildlife and such kind of vegetation we used to see here. So this was about hot desert. And when we talk about this cold desert or Ladakh, see, cold desert here means the region is a kind of barren region, means vegetation is not present there. Also it is not fit for cultivation. Also rainfall is not present there. But cold here refers to, while the temperature here in the hot desert would say raise to almost 50 degrees centigrade, here in case of cold desert it would raise to almost minus 50 degrees centigrade. Means the temperature will be very low. The only difference with hot and cold is of temperature. Why the temperature here is low? Because of permanent cover of snow. This region is having permanent cover of snow. So this is the and why we have we have already seen. I am rubbing this. See, this Ladakh is here in this region. Before Ladakh, we have Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, and Shivaliks. So neither this southwest monsoon, nor the eastern branch of monsoon, none of these two are able to reach here in this region to cause rainfall, because firstly, maximum amount of rainfall or the winds having the moisture content maximum is laid in the coastal regions. Whatever they are left with, they deposit in the central region. Even if the winds are left with little more moisture, then they deposit here on the foothills of the Himalayas. But they are not able to cross these huge mountains or these great Himalayas or this means lesser Himalayas. So this region means devoid of rainfall, because these winds from eastern branch or the western branch are unable to reach here in this portion, especially monsoon winds. So this portion used to remain dry or deficient of rainfall, and that is why it gets converted into this cold desert region. See the latitude here, if you will see, it will be almost near about 35 degree north latitude to say 40 degree north latitude. Means if we cover the parts of India lies till 37 degree north latitude, but if we cover even the parts of China and about that Pamir North region, then we will see that in this region, due to this also being close to this Himalayas or the mountain region, this region doesn't find any rainfall. So these are the two reasons why we see that deserts are formed, and why we have Ladakh as cold desert and why we have Thar desert as hot desert. So if you people have noted it down, we will be moving to, see, I have not written the definitions. I have tried to explain it and have written only few. You have to adjust with this, and you have to note down in a proper notes format, so that you can revise it during the examination. When I write the complete definition, it takes a lot, the time span used to increase, and the video also, the time span of video also used to get increased. So I'm not writing all those for you. Now we'll be moving to our sixth physiographic division, that is islands region or islands. So we will be now moving to our last physiographic division under this physiographic division of India, that is island. We won't be studying much about these islands here because I have already covered important facts about islands of India while we were studying, means in earlier topics I have already covered this. So we will be seeing only few important things about islands in India. So first thing is that what do we mean by island? Island is a land area which is covered by water on its all sides. See, peninsula, we know that when a land is covered by water on its three sides, then it is peninsula. Island is a land area which is covered from all the sides with water. So in India mainly we have two types of islands. One is in the Arabian Sea, located in the Arabian Sea side, and another one is in the Bay of Bengal side. So mainly in the Arabian Sea side you will find this Lakshadweep island. This Lakshadweep is nothing but a combination of 36 individual islands. Okay, means islands covered like this, small islands or small land areas covered by water on all sides. This together combined to form Lakshadweep island. Similarly, Andaman and Nicobar we have on the Bay of Bengal side. This island is a collection of almost 350 islands. Remember that though these are collection of these 36 islands and these 350 islands, but all are not inhabited. Means people don't used to live on all the islands. A very few number of islands are inhabited because the conditions of those islands are not so for being for people to reside over those islands. Okay, so this Lakshadweep is nothing but a coral island. So what do you mean by coral island? See, corals are sea animals which used to deposit calcium carbonate from their skin, and due to deposition of those calcium carbonate, the islands when they are formed, they are known as coral islands. So this Lakshadweep island, it is a coral island. We have among these 36 islands, we have a Pitti island. Remember this, in several time objective questions is asked that what is Pitti island famous for? So this Pitti island is nothing but a bird sanctuary. This Pitti island is among these 36 islands in Lakshadweep, and this is a bird sanctuary. So you need to remember both that Pitti island is a part of which island? So it is part of Lakshadweep, not Andaman and Nicobar. And what is it famous for? It is famous for bird sanctuary. Similarly, here in Andaman and Nicobar Island, this island is mainly located in the equatorial region, and so it has equatorial climate. What do you mean by equatorial climate? A large amount of rainfall throughout the year, means high precipitation, high temperature, high humidity. All these are features of equatorial climate. So these are features of Andaman and Nicobar Islands also. So here in Andaman and Nicobar Island, we have the highest peak or the mountain is Saddle Peak. And where it is located? It is located in the North Andaman region or the North Andaman Island. Okay, we have an island with the name of North Andaman. So this Saddle Peak is located in the North Andaman Island. Also, we have only one active volcano in this region or in India, that is the active volcano is located in the Barren Island. This Barren Island is among these 350 islands present in the Andaman and Nicobar. And where it is present, the Barren Island, it is surrounded by the Andaman Sea. In 2018, what happened that on the 75th anniversary of Azad Hind Fauj, you people might be knowing about Azad Hind Fauj, means Subhash Chandra Bose established it over this on the Andaman Island, this Andaman and Nicobar Islands in 1943. So in 2018, on the 75th anniversary, name of few islands were changed. So these islands are in this Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So you need to remember this because sometimes questions are asked on based on this also. So the name of earlier which was named as Havelock Island, now it has been named into Swaraj Deep. The Ross Island has been named into Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island Dweep. Dweep is a Hindi term for island, and Neel Island had been termed as Sahid Dweep. So these three are part of this Andaman and Nicobar Island, and these have been renamed. Havelock as Swaraj, Ross as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island, and Need as Shahid Dweep. Besides this, we also have few more islands. For example, Sriharikota. This is on the coastal side of the Bay of Bengal side in the Andhra Pradesh state, on the eastern side of Andhra Pradesh. Sriharikota, you know that this is known for Satish Dhawan Space Center, or the satellite launching center of India. Then we have Pamban Island. This is on the southern coast near Tamil Nadu. This is known for connecting it, this island used to known for its connection with the Adam Bridge or the Ram Setu. Then we have New Moor Island. This is near the west of Bengal region, and this is known for its dispute with Bangladesh, and the dispute got resolved in the International Court of Justice, and the verdict was such that 25% of this island came to India and 75% went to Bangladesh. Few other islands are, one is Sagar Island. It is known for the Ganga Sagar Mela. It is situated in the eastern side. Then we have Majuli Island in the Assam state over the Brahmaputra river. It is the first riverine island in India. Also, it has also been named as a district. So first island to be named as a district. Then we have Bed Dwarka. This Bed Dwarka has its connection with the Mahabharat, and it is located in the Gujarat, Kutch region, in the Gujarat region. So there are few other famous islands. I have not written them here, but if you want, you can Google search them and see in the news region, in the news section, that islands which mainly you need to know about those islands which are frequently in the news for one or the other reason. So these are some of the islands on which questions were framed in several examinations. So I have covered those here. With this, we come to end of our physiographic divisions of India. We have covered this topic. I hope you people have noted down important points and you have made the notes from this topic. These notes will help you in your examination. So in our next video, we will be covering some other topic. Okay, thank you.